All right, I left work early today. Have a job interview. I'm praying, and please pray for me that whatever God's will is for this job, it should be. If this is what's best for me and my family and for the people I'll be ministering to, it'll be a joy to serve them. But I just hope I'll also be able to continue serving where I currently serve in that event, or in any event, I mean, things can change in a minute. You never know. Hopefully, things, we hope and pray things will be good, and we know in the end they will be. If we think positively, we hope God will bless us. Part of that is that we have to love God, fear God, be aware of God's existence, and through that gives us faith and courage, and helps us to go on each day living life, and it's like I said, things can always change in a moment's notice, but let's hope and pray that all together we can do God's will. That being said, so this would be a very good job, by the way. Just the question is how, can I do both? Can I manage the other job? Let's see. Well, let's see if we get the job or not. There's no guarantees. And so we don't have to worry too much. Let's just live in the moment and embrace the godliness that transcends time. And know that even in this one moment, there is that transcendent aspect of time that's past, present, future, all at once, because God exists in this moment just as He exists in every moment, equally and totally throughout all the various multiverses that God created. I was listening this morning. I listened a little bit to NPR. They were the local NPR from Albany. It's not my local station. I really want to listen. I like to listen to the Writer's Almanac, and it was interrupted because they were doing a fund drive, I think, for Puerto Rico. It upset me how they politicized this, however, but it gladdened me that they were doing something good. I was almost tempted to give something and tell them, I support your free speech even though you probably don't support mine. That was a thought that was going through my head. I know to a certain extent it's true, to a certain extent it's not true. You've got to be and I think Glenn Beck kind of smacked me in the face of that, gave me some really strong, what we call in Hebrew, Musar, lesson in life. Now, Glenn Beck said like this. He played Jimmy Kimmel, an interview with Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel said that, I don't understand, the demographics were up to a certain point. His ratings were just about equal between Republicans and Democrats. Now, I'll tell you, first of all, I'm not, how long has he been on the TV, I don't have television that, I have internet, that I can watch videos, but I don't watch these late night shows. I used to watch Leno and Letterman and Conan O'Brien, and even, I remember it was little Johnny Carson, I remember. And wow, how things have changed from Steve Allen to Jack Parr to Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson was on for such a long time, and I thought Leno was going to be Johnny Carson. I thought Leno was going to be there as long as Johnny Carson was there. And then they brought in Conan, who I love. But I was kind of like, well, why are they getting rid of Leno? You know, put in Conan instead of Letterman. You know, get rid of Letterman. No, but you know, and then Conan left. Then he got his own show on TBS. And then how long? I don't even know what year. I'm probably talking about things that happened 10 years ago, and I don't even realize the framework of time, because the only TV show I really still watch is The Simpsons. And I didn't see yesterday's Simpsons yet. It's a delay until it's on Hulu or FX or networks, you know, what the streaming that I could watch is streaming. But you know, I'm like someone said, you know, whatever, the Big Bang Theory's been on for like 10 years, and like I never even watched it, you know, and like people say, oh, so you know, all these things, I don't know, it's not in my frame of reference, you know. I don't really keep up with current popular culture other than Star Wars, The Simpsons, and Jurassic Park. That's about it. King Kong, Godzilla. I didn't even see the Godzilla from, what was it, 2014? So it's 3 years ago, and I have it on DVD. I never watched the DVD. I should take some time. You know, I wanted to go see it, but so, and I didn't see it because like my wife wasn't interested in seeing it, and then I just never bothered. And then I bought the DVD and never bothered to watch it. I'm weird like that. All right. Hold on. So anyway, so let's go back to. That's not what I'm talking about anyway. Just probably wasted 3 minutes of your precious time talking about nonsense. But like, it's, I look forward to Monster Bash, and that's about it. Even I go to Chiller and I go to Blobfest. I don't look forward to them as much as I look forward to. Like I could take it or leave Chiller. Although Chiller has amazing celebrities, like really top tier, but. Alright, but alright, well, let's move on. Oh, I love the people. Monster Bash brings my people, you know. Larry Storch, Bird-Eye Gordon, Terry Moore, Rico Browning, and now they're gonna have, you know, then they bring the kids of the, you know, because the old people passed on, so Leo Gorcey's daughter's gonna be there, and she's gonna bring his hat. Alright. I don't know if we're going to get to wear the hat, that I doubt, but we'll at least get to see the hat, you know. Alright, let's move on. So, what's that guy's name? Jimmy Kimmel. I don't, you know, maybe I've seen the show once or twice. I really don't, and I don't know even how long he's been on and what this whole means. And then there's the other guy, Fallon. His name's also Jimmy Fallon. He's not that funny. I don't know. Also, I've seen him once or twice. And then they got Steve Colbert. I have to answer this text now about Wegmans. Who I liked the Colbert Report, but that's just because I didn't get it was a joke, right? Like Grandpa Simpson said. And he's just lost his mind. I don't know. But this what he said about. Oh, this was on Glenn Beck's show. He said, if you, he said his viewership among Republicans, Jimmy Kimmel, has gone down some 30%, which is a big deal. And then he said, and then they were like, oh, when you say good riddance, it's like, well, not good riddance, but riddance. It's like, and if you disagree with me about gun control or health care, I really don't want to have a conversation with you anyway. And that is what upset Glenn Beck the most. Not so much Jimmy Kimmel's views, but that he has no interest in having a conversation with someone who disagrees with him. Now, I love to have conversations with people I disagree with. That's what makes conversation interesting. Hello! I mean, it's not a conversation. It's like, oh yeah, I agree. Oh yeah, I agree. Seriously? Like, what kind of conversation is that? That's not conversation. That's just like, oh, I agree. What? What's the point of having that conversation? Seriously, somebody tell me. Don't you get something out of listening to someone you disagree with? I certainly do. And I would love to sit down and talk to people I disagree with. Some of them want to shut me up. I mean, we see this on YouTube, that they take off the ads for no reason. And I went to go speak in the college about sociology and history, very little about politics. And they wanted to ban me from speaking in the community college. Thank God they didn't ban me. What's actually going on here? What are we talking about, really? Glenn Beck said when Trump won, he's like, don't make the mistake that I made. He said, I didn't make a mistake telling the truth about Barack Obama, but I made the mistake assuming that only I could be right and having the arrogance, not having the humility to listen to the other side. And yet, however bad we were, and I admit, I myself, I can't talk about anybody else, but yeah, maybe I went a little overboard about Barack Obama. But that doesn't come to anything to the way people are talking about Trump. And I'm not a big Trump guy. People are like, oh, you're a big fan of Trump. I'm not a big fan of Trump. My feeling about Trump is... Excuse me. Oh, I could have paused that, but all right. I'm not going to edit it later. I just upload, and that's it. You're lucky if you get a fancy thumbnail. I don't even know what I would make a thumbnail for this for. This is ridiculous. Maybe Jimmy Kimmel? Glenn Beck? I don't know. It would be great if Glenn Beck would go on Jimmy Kimmel's show and they could sit and talk, or if Jimmy Kimmel would go on Glenn Beck's show and they could sit and talk. But instead, everybody's just like, I don't want to hear. Oh, Trump's a Nazi. What are you talking about? Trump's a Nazi. Now someone's going to take that out of, of course Trump's not a Nazi. His daughter's Jewish. Are you stupid? I couldn't believe. I didn't even read the article. I don't care to read the article. I now that the Forward, they're only giving me 10 articles a month. So I'm going to just read probably less than 10 a month. because you want to charge me money. I don't want to give money to your rag. If I believed in your cause, maybe I'd give you some money, or if you gave me something worth my money, like Netflix, even though I might not agree with Netflix, but what they give me, it's worth my money. So it's a low price. It's worth the money, and I'll give. But the forward, why should I give to the forward? Even though they printed something for me once. And then they edited it. They took out some of the most important things because it wasn't politically correct. And I didn't think it was politically correct. I thought it was like very feminist. I mean, the whole article was pretty feminist, but you got to be open. After I wrote that article, one of my best friends was like really mad at me, like, "Oh, how dare you say that we could ordain women as ministers?" I'm just saying, if they want to get a job as a chaplain somewhere, so they give them a piece of paper so they can work as a chaplain. Was a schlecht. They want to sign a marriage license. Was a schlecht. I'm not saying that it could be a dayan, the paskin shilas. I remember I was discussing once with a conservative rabbi who served a reform pulpit in Yerushalayim. When I was learning in yeshiva, he came and spent some time there, this rabbi, and I like talking to him. I like talking to people like this, even back then, even when I was a much bigger extremist than I am now. And I'm much more middle of the road moderate now, I believe, than I was 20 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever. I love talking to people I disagree with. I love talking to missionaries. I love talking to conservative reform rabbis. I love talking to anybody who wants to talk to me, and we can have a nice, normal, intelligent conversation. I love it. Bring it on. It's great. And I said to him, I was like, I don't have a problem with a woman being a Hasidic Rebbe, because it was like that in history. There were women who were Hasidic Rebbes. The office that a Hasidic Rebbe follows is not the same as a dayan. Now, sometimes you have a Rav who's also a Rebbe. Sometimes the main thing's a Rav and the Rebbe is incidental. Sometimes the main thing's a Rebbe and the Rav is incidental. But I love to discuss things with people I disagree with, and this is what. And then Glenn Beck was just talking about this, and he was like, "We got to talk to each other. We got to talk to each other." So anyway, what was I saying about this? This kind of one thing leads to another, because my visceral reaction to NPR is like, even though you want to take away my freedom of speech, I still support yours. This holier than thou attitude, which we got to get rid of. We got to get that out of our system. And also people should know, holier than thou is that term comes from the book of Isaiah, and it's talking about idolatry. So there, I mean, it's not something to strive for. That's what I'm saying. the attitude Isaiah was speaking against it, this holier than thou attitude, and we got to learn how to purge that attitude from our midst and adopt more of a humble attitude. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It takes a lot of work. Now, I want to talk about something very sensitive. It's a personal thing. It's about someone else, and it's because I don't know how to address it. And this is probably the absolutely worst way to address this. Except I'm looking for advice. And so I'm asking you, my friends, in the YouTube audience, for advice, how to handle this. I got a call yesterday from someone, I'm not going to go into any details, but he said someone who I met once, and I've maintained a relationship with online, and who I love and respect very much. Was dishonest with me. This is the claim that this phone call was, and I'm, well, is that a sign?